Okay.
The pinnacle of human perspective.
Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I do have Cindy from Gentle Rain Yoga with us today, and I wanted to introduce her to you guys and let you guys know what all she offers. And she actually has something for the UOTF viewers to give it a try if you'd like. So, welcome, Cindy.
Thanks, Shane, for having me on today. It's
No
a
problem.
pleasure to chat with you. So I've been a yoga instructor for a little over 10 years now, and I started my own business, Gentle Rain Yoga, a little over 4 years ago, and transitioned to online teaching during the pandemic, as so many other people did. Um, so now I am offering 2 classes a day, Monday through Friday, that people can do through the Zoom app. And as I got to know you and we were chatting, we decided for me to offer a free class for your followers. And we'll have that coming up on Saturday, the 18th, for anybody that wants to maybe try it out. Whether you're a yoga practitioner already or you've never tried it before, I'm going to just do a really basic, gentle class. That's kind of my niche. There's plenty of people out there doing um, yoga for people who are already really flexible and strong. And I really want to make it more accessible to more people. So I don't do a lot of trick poses. We just really focus on getting in tune with the body. Our body carries us around through life, and it's really easy to just kind of take it for granted and not even stay in tune with the body. So just bringing people back into awareness of the body and awareness of the breath. So don't have any worries about you're not flexible enough or not strong enough or can't sit on the floor or whatever. We'll handle whatever your perceived limitations are. So for your community, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday the 18th. I have a 1 hour yoga class, a gentle class that you can tune into and practice with me and see if you vibe with what I do.
That
Um,
is awesome. So 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's a really good time for everybody, whether you're in Europe. That's what's cool about this. It's online. People can do it from anywhere in the world. And what's good about this is you'll be able to see, offer them, advice on how their pose is or what they can do because you can see them too. Plus, do people get to meet each other too, like before you get started, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So when we're all just kind of filtering in from the waiting room, we can have the mics on so people can chat, get to know each other, see where everybody's from. That's always an exciting thing, um, you know, and just chat a little before we get started. And if anybody has any questions or reservations, we can just settle all that, any concerns people have before we get started. And then once we begin the practice, I'll have everybody mute their microphones just so that the camera stays focused on me. Otherwise, it'll bounce back and forth between whoever's making the most noise at the moment, and that's distracting. So
Right.
if we keep the camera on me through the practice. But then, with the idea that if you have a question come up or a concern during class, you can either just unmute yourself and ask, or there's a raise your hand feature in Zoom. So you can put your hand up and then I can pause and unmute you and we can chat about whatever your concern is and then resume the practice.
Very cool. So yeah, I'm all about trying to build more community, especially now when everybody's all separate. So it sounds like this is a good
Mhm.
way to meet other people and to start getting more healthy. And I do try to stretch every morning. Is this something that for everybody? What do you need as far as preparations like clothing and things like that?
So just anything that you might wear walking or going to the gym, anything that just lets you move freely. You don't want it to be restrictive like blue jeans or, wearing a belt or anything. Just, stretchy. It could be tight or could be loose, whatever your preference is. Um, You don't need to do any preparation. You don't even really need to have a designated space. Hopefully, if you have other people in the household, maybe they can give you some quiet-ish time for an
Right.
hour or so. Um,
So you just
if
need
you
about
have,
the amount of space as one of those yoga mats. Is that about it?
yeah, yeah. So I typically start seated, and we start with some warm-ups of the neck and the rest of the spine. And then we'll do a variety of different movements, some of which will be seated. We might come onto hands and knees. We might stand up and do some movement. But yeah, just, the amount of space you'd need to kind of move your arms or kind of twist your body around. So, I mean, I've done yoga in hotel rooms, just put my yoga mat down between like the end of the bed and the TV or whatever. And
Hmm.
so it doesn't have to be a big space. And even if you don't have a yoga mat, that's fine. You could put down a beach towel or a bath towel or work on a rug. Um, and at the beginning for the warm-up sequence, you can even just sit in a chair. And if anybody wants to participate and they can't get in the floor, just go ahead and tune in anyway, and I can work with you. I've done chair yoga, and so I'll pick poses that can be done in a chair or standing beside a chair if you have balance issues.
That's cool because I can just tell like people had excuses that just went away just then when you said that. Well, I
Oh,
can't do it
people,
because I'm stuck in my chair,
yeah,
or maybe I'm in a wheelchair, or maybe I'm limited, and if I get on the floor, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back up again, right? So,
right,
so
right.
yeah, so that's cool that you'll work with however someone is, and do they have to have a camera, or how does that work?
No, if you're uncomfortable having your camera on through the practice, that's fine. I'm not going to say you can't participate if you don't want to leave your camera on. If you don't have your camera on, I can't see your practice, so I don't know if you might need to adjust something. Um, I want to make sure people aren't going to throw their knees out or something like that. So that's why I watch. But if privacy is an issue for you, certainly go ahead and tune in and just know that you won't be able to get feedback from me, but still practice anyway, if that's your preference.
Very cool. So it sounds like a lot of fun. You mentioned different times and different days of the week. Are those just so people can kind of come to class when they want, or are the classes different?
A little of both.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I have some morning classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and thinking of the people who attend those are people who are either retired or work from home, and so that time frame works for them. And then the people who attend my evening classes on Tuesday, Thursday, they're able to work their work day and get home in time to do those classes. But there is a little difference in the classes as well. The first class of the day on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is at 9:30 Eastern time, is my most challenging class, I would say. It's a little more athletic. We do longer holds or more challenging transitions between the poses, maybe more intense breath work. So I wouldn't say no beginners, but just be up for a challenge. And if you have good mobility and you're up for a challenge, that's a good class for you. And then the second class of the day is at 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's a gentle class. The people in that class are um, seniors or people who maybe have had some issues with their knees, or their mobility isn't as uh, extensive as it used to be, and so we really take it down a notch. And we still get in a lot of really good work for the body, a lot of good stretching, and spinal flexibility is so important. And that's just something you need to do all the time. You can't just, you know, get really flexible and say, okay, now I'm set and I don't have to do this anymore. It's just you do it again and again and again daily, or however often you can make some time for it. Um, and then the evening classes depends on who shows up. I have one on Tuesday, Thursday that's scheduled at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And on the schedule, it's a beginner class, but the people who've been attending lately have been with me for a while. And so if they want to really amp it up, I do. Um, but if you're a pure beginner and you want to come to that time slot, it works for you, then we'll just, start with the very basics, and I'll give plenty of cues and modifications to help you find how the pose feels best in your body. And then the second class on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time is more of a restorative type class. So a little bit more of reclining poses using props, pillows, or a bolster if you have one. I like to kind of do much more subtle and relaxing stuff in the evening so that we don't get all amped up right before bedtime, right? We really want to just kind of stretch through and breathe through the stress of the day and just let the body start to wind down for the night.
Very cool. Very cool. So if someone has, when you say modifications, like if I had some kind of injury or something, you can, and I required something, even in a gentle class, maybe I required something even more gentle until the recovery, you could give a pose or a stretch that would help in that area. So that's what you mean by modifications?
Absolutely. So, if you flip through a yoga book, you'll see postures demonstrated, and people might look at them and say, oh, I can't do that. I can't hold my arm like that, or it doesn't feel good for me to have my knee in that position. I'll give you different options. And so, if we had 10 different people in the class, 3 of them might be doing this variation of the pose and 3 another variation, right? So everybody will have an option that will work for them.
Very cool. So that sounds very exciting. And you actually have another event coming up that we want to talk about. By the way, you guys, all these links are down in the description below. All of the social media, all of the below the social media, you'll find the offer. We'll put offer down there for you guys, and you just click that and you register. And what happens when they click on that link exactly? They get a date or a
So
Zoom link?
for the free event, when they click on the link that you'll put in the description box, it will take them to the landing page. So it'll have the description of the gentle class. There'll be a button there that says register. When you click register, it'll bring up a little form, and you just put in your name and your email address, and it will say registered. There's no fee for that class, and you'll immediately get an email sent to you that will have the Zoom link for that pre-class. And then I think it will also send you another email a day before the event.
Oh,
So
very
if you
cool.
kind of lose that first one, you'll get a second one.
Very cool.
And then you just click on that Zoom link, and it lets you right into the waiting room.
All right, you guys. So don't wait. Space is limited because it is an online event, and it's a week from this coming Saturday. So depending on when you're seeing this, you don't have a lot of time to get in there and register. And it should be a fun time of meeting not only Cindy but other people around in the community that are wanting to start something new. And it's springtime almost. It's got that feeling of starting something new. So I think it's a great time right now. Try something new. Get out and just do something new and exciting on this adventure ride that we're on here. But before we want to talk about another adventurous ride coming up, because it's when you told me about this event coming up, this 4-day event in March in just a couple of weeks, I had just heard about Heaven's Crossing happening on the 22nd, and it's supposed to be this event where more energies are starting to pour in and more abilities are coming online and everything. And so I was really surprised that you hadn't heard about that, because I'd heard that from Jim Self. One of my viewers, Paul, sent me a link. And in fact, I've had Paul on before. And he sent me the link, and then I verified it with Jim Self. So anyway, it's happening on the same date. So let's talk about your event that just happens to align with this beautiful Heaven's Crossing event.
All right, things happen for a reason, don't they?
Absolutely.
So this event that I have coming up, I'm really excited about it. It's a collaboration between me and Kristen Marie of the Expansion Center. And she and I have been friends for a couple of years now. We met in a yoga teacher training, and she's a Kundalini meditation and yoga teacher. And so this is going to be a 4-day online meditation event. So perfect timing, lining up with Heaven's Crossing. The event is going to be Monday, March 20th through Thursday, the 23rd. Each session will be about an hour and a half long. So about an hour and 15 minutes of practice time, followed by about 15 minutes for Q&A. So this is happening 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. And Monday the 20th is the spring equinox. So that's the time, one of the 2 times during the year where we have a perfect balance between light and dark in the world. And so we're emerging out of winter, out of that time of hibernation, into coming into more light in the world, and new beginnings and everything starting to blossom out, which also lines up with Tuesday the 21st, which is a new moon. We get a new moon every 30 days or so. And
And it's so
so
funny
for
because that
this,
next day, the 22nd, just happens to be this Heaven's Cross day or whatever it
right, right.
is.
Uh-huh. And so all of these new beginnings and more light coming into the world, that theme is just repeating through this whole week of this series that we've set up. And meditation is really, that's the goal of yoga. All of the yoga, all of the postures of the movement is really just to kind of prepare the body, the mind, the emotions to be able to spend time in meditation with less distraction. And the point of meditation is to try to tune in to our intuition, our inner self, or our true self, not the ego self, but our soul or our Christ consciousness, or whatever term you are comfortable using for that part of us that's infinite and deathless and guides us, if we're listening. And it's a quiet voice, right? And there's a lot of noise in the world. So it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to learn to set aside all the distraction and really tune in. And so that's what we're focusing on. We're just going to do a lot of different breath work practices and Kundalini meditations and yoga Nidra meditations, to give people some different tools in their toolbox that they can use when they want to spend some time in meditation. And so they'll have some go-to practices that they can pick from.
Awesome. So this 4-day event, we have the link to down below as well. Is there a schedule at that link for people to see all the times of all the different meditations?
Yep. So again, if they click on that link in your description box, it will take them to the landing page for the event. So it'll have the full description of the Yoga Nidra and Kundalini meditations for gaining clarity and building energy, balancing energy. So once they get to that landing page, it'll list the 4 days and the times, and there'll be a link that says register for the series. And they click on that. There is a discount code. So if they register for that by midnight on Friday the 17th, so that's St. Patty's Day. Don't go out for your St. Patty's Day festivities before you register for the meditation event.
A
You'll
great
get
reminder.
$15 off. Yeah. So, and in the description on the landing page, the code is there, but it's early 15. So you get $15 off if you're an early bird registering for that event. So that brings the price down to $44 for those 4 days of meditation. You really can't beat that price for all of the different tools that we're going to give you.
Absolutely. Now, that is not to be confused with the free event. That's on the 18th, you guys. This is an additional event that she's going to be doing with Kristen Marie of the Expansion Center. And you guys
Right.
actually have some videos on your social media that people can check out and get a little taste of that too as well, right?
We sure do. So we've been doing Instagram lives, little 15 to 20-minute segments for the last 3 Tuesdays, and we have one more coming up. So we were doing these just to introduce people to us so they could hear us chat about what we do, why we love it, what we think it's going to do for them, get to know our personalities a little bit, see if they vibe with us, and to get a free short practice. So each of these 3 Tuesdays, we've given a little breath work practice or a little meditation practice. So if you go to my Instagram channel page, Instagram page, or Kristen's Instagram page, you can find these videos. And the next Instagram live is coming up Tuesday, the 14th. This will be 11 a.m. Eastern time. And all of my social media stuff is Gentle Rain Yoga. So if you can remember that, my Instagram is Gentle Rain Yoga, Facebook, YouTube handle are Gentle Rain Yoga. My website is gentlerainyoga.com. My email address is gentlerainyoga@gmail.com. So find me on Instagram. And if you want to go back and watch those last 3 lives we did, they're there. And tune in this coming Tuesday, the 14th, live, or find the replay afterwards if you're not available for the live.
That's awesome. And if you're like me, you guys, and you're going to forget later on, all those links are down below in the description box. Because if they forget the Gentle Rain Yoga, then it's all lost, right? And
Right.
I don't know, it seems like the easier stuff to remember is the stuff I forget. I'm like, it was so easy. What was it? You know, and it's the complicated things that I seem to remember. So who knows? But those links are down below. I'm so glad you had an opportunity to come on and share what you do with the community. And if people just want to reach out to you for any information, you gave your email address already. Actually, I'll probably put a parentheses. I'll put it in parentheses down there so you don't get spammed. So I'll put @Gmail, you guys, but you'll need to replace it because I don't want her to get spammed really hard.
Thank you.
No problem. And they can probably reach out through the website as well, right? If they go there, there's that contact page, right?
Absolutely. So on my website, it has links to my email, to my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for coming on here, Cindy. And it's been a pleasure knowing you and meeting you and connecting you with the community. So thanks for your time.
No, thank you so much.
offering.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see which of your followers who might show up, how many people we can get, and just chat with them for a while and find out where they are.
It's a perfect
So thank
opportunity
you
to
so
try it
much.
out, you know. It's if you guys ever wondered, you know, and don't let fear hold you back. Actually, I'm going to be doing a video on fear and how much it stops us from doing things when and that's really the ego trying to protect us. So it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can stop us in our tracks when we could move forward and enjoy something beautiful and new. So this is a perfect opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. And you get to just try it for free. It doesn't hurt anything. Just register, click the links down below, and hopefully we'll see you Saturday the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Thank you so much, Cindy.
You're welcome, and thank you, Shane.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.